Hi there, this is Ronnie, coming at you with a video. I know that this video is coming out on April 1st, but I assure you this is not a joke video. I'm going to put this in my personal section, even though it does sort of touch on gaming a little. But this is much more about people. If you look at the news to any extent at the moment, partially out of the political landscape of the last few years, partially out of COVID, which I think has certainly magnified. I think it's magnified the situation, and I think the reason for that is isolation. I think I remember many years ago there was a documentary. It was on Channel 4, I think. And it was an interesting premise. It took 3 married couples, and it was looking at the whole talk of how important was sex in a relationship. And so they decided to test the theory by essentially telling these 3 or 4 couples, that the most in terms of intimacy they could do was a quick cuddle. But other than that, they weren't allowed to be physically intimate, and definitely not sexually intimate in any way, for a month. And what happened was, at the end of the experiment, the couples did say that they felt distant, that they found that their mood had lowered, that they were becoming more testy, they were snapping, and they were finding it, and the conclusion was that sex, but more importantly physical and emotional intimacy, was absolutely vital in a relationship. Why do I bring this up? That was over a month with people not being able to just touch, be in the same room but not being able to touch. For a lot of people, we've had over a year now of people not being able to be in the same room, let alone touch, because of COVID. And I do wonder, at some level, if that same thing of the physical distancing causing emotional distancing, causing a breakdown in our ability to empathize, is happening. As I say, you look at the news and everyone seems to be at every other person's throat. As I say, partially because of political situations around the globe, partially because of, I think, COVID, and just people falling back into hating the other. It saddens me. And I say saddens because the truth is, for a very wide degree, I have never ever had to deal with prejudice or any sort of social segregation to a wide extent. What do I mean by that? I am a straight white cis male. I'm not a particularly rich straight white cis male. In fact, I'm anything but. And I obviously I have problems with my mental and emotional health. And I have felt some prejudice, some societal prejudice because of that. But as a straight white cis male, I have never, ever experienced prejudice, the sort of prejudice that people feel if they're not male, if they're not cis, if they're not straight, if they're not white. Now, I have witnessed it. I know people who have experienced it and have talked about their experiences. And I can empathize and I can sympathize, and from a certain emotional level and intellectual level, I can understand it. But there is a far deeper emotional level that I will never understand because I have never experienced it. And being straight white cis male, I never will. I am very fortunate in having a lot of very close friends. Not all of those friends are male. Not all of those men are cis. Not all of those men are straight. Not all of those friends are straight white cis male. They're not all male friends. They're not all cis friends. They're not all straight. They're not all white. But they're my friends. It's why I hate putting descriptors. I've said this before. I hate putting descriptors on people's names. And I see so much hatred, so much derision. Idiots talking about why can't we have straight pride? It's not inclusive. We should be allowed to have straight pride. And it's nothing to do, their demand for that has nothing to do with wanting a straight pride. It's to try and ridicule gay pride and trans pride. The sheer fact is, we live in a world that is predominantly structured for straight white cis males to dominate. Shouldn't be that way. And I would love to see it not be that way. But those who don't fall into any of those four categories have had to deal with prejudice. And they're standing up and they're sort of fighting back, and quite rightly so, in my opinion. Not fighting for special treatment, not fighting for rules, rules that apply only to them. They're just fighting for the rules to apply for everyone, equally, fairly, legitimately. It's as it should be. Or at least I feel so. It saddens me, the way the world seems to be turning darker in some regards. My friends, particularly those who know me from Ayrshire, probably get tired of the fact that I've never been a particular cynic. I may be doing them a disservice saying that, but you know, I refuse to give up hope, but I admit my faith, not a religious faith, just a faith in humanity, is being sorely tested. Not lost it yet. Damn, I bloody fight to keep my faith, but it's kind of sad to see. I'm saddened at myself, I'm sickened at myself for losing faith at a time when I should be trying to be strong, but the last year has taken a toll, I will admit. My own health, my own mental health has taken a real knock. Isolation is not good. So yeah, I just wanted to put it out there, just voice myself. I'm sickened by the prejudice that I see. I want it to stop. But I'm only one person, and the only thing I can do is, rather than preach, is just live my truth. Maybe it inspires others. I used to watch the TV series Angel. There was a line in it talking about the darkness of the world, and Angel says, well, that's why there's people like us. We live as if the world was as it should be, to show it what it can be. I'd like to see more people like that. I think there are. I think the silent majority are, to be fair. But, yeah. It may be summertime, but the nights are getting gloomier. So I just wanted to put some voice on that. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video that will probably be more about gaming and hopefully a bit more upbeat.